What's up, Marvel Snappers, and welcome to another Marvel Snap video. Today we have a new featured location, Warrior Falls. After each turn, cards here fight and destroy the weakest ones. Now the way this works in practice is only the card or cards with the lowest power at this location will be destroyed. So say you have a 2 power and a 3 power card, and your opponent plays a 4 power card. At the end of that turn, your 2 power card will be destroyed. And then on the following turn, if nothing changes in this location, then your 3 power card will be destroyed. This is going to be an interesting location to play around with, and as the day goes on, we'll learn a lot more about how best to utilize it. But we're going to go over some of the cards that jumped out to me initially that might be good to start exploring with. Starting with the Pool 1 card Armor, who is just going to prevent cards from being destroyed, and this lets you play with this location as if it's a normal location and you don't have to concern yourself too much with who's going to be destroyed. Another Pool 1 card is Colossus, who can't be destroyed. Now, this should end up eating up the weakest card consistently, and again, kind of just turns off this location. Another Pool 1 card is Devil Dinosaur, who can get to a massive 17 power. And that just means it's most likely going to always be the largest card and will get to stand on its own. Another Pool 1 card that could be interesting is Heimdall, that lets you get some cards on the board ahead of time, not in Warrior Falls, and potentially shift multiple cards over into it. Your weakest one will be destroyed, but the remaining cards could potentially come up over your opponent if they've only been playing one card there. Because if you play a second card of your own and the opponent has 0 cards there, your weakest one will still be destroyed. Moving on into Pool 2, while a lot of the cards that get destroyed and have a benefit will work well in Warrior Falls, Bucky Barnes leaving a 6 power card behind will take a long time for the opponent to put something higher than 6 power into there, and maybe you can then put a couple more cards into there and be able to maintain some presence in there, even if the opponent does eventually get a large card. Next up we have Shang Chi. Since this location encourages you to play high power cards there, this might be a great surprise play on the last turn just to destroy whatever their largest card is, since if you don't have any cards committed there yet, your opponent can't commit multiple cards easily. Then we have the Infinaut. It's pretty telegraphed, but 20 power should win the location hands down, and can be a great way to close out the game. Moving into Pool 3, we have Electro, who when played gives you +1 energy permanently, but has the ongoing effect that you can't play more than 1 card per turn. Thanks to Warrior Falls, you might be able to just get this killed off right away and not be held back by that restriction. Then we have Dr. Octopus, who is going to fill up the location by pulling as many cards as possible from your opponent's hand into it. This can cause for some wild games, and with favorable results, you can have a lot of your opponent's cards end up being killed. Then we have Red Skull, who's just 15 power on his own. And again, normally a drawback where you give the opponent's cards +2, but if they're dying once every turn, you at least clear out a few of them and might be able to squeeze in some extra power behind it. And in a similar vein, Destroyer is 16 power, which is also just huge, and can easily stand in this location on its own. And lastly, we have Magneto, who is 12 power himself, which is pretty big, and will pull your opponent's 3 and 4 cost cards into this location, and if they're of similar power, you might actually get multiple destroys on it, similar to what you can do with Kingpin, but this is just with the location. I hope this gave you some starting ideas. We still don't quite know what's going to work best, but as the day progresses, we'll learn a lot more about this location. If you have any questions or feedback for me, make sure to leave those in the comment sections below, and I will see you in the next one.